Alright, so here we are, kind of checking out, hoping that the audio is working this time. If this recording goes well, then I will be deleting the old one. Here we are in the Undead Asylum at the start of Dark Souls Remastered. Went with the, fairly certain it's Wanderer class and the Black Firebomb starting gift. And here we go, let's start making our way through. So, this isn't really for any one particular kind of fan of Dark Souls, I guess the best way to explain it would be, it's a game I enjoy. I'll be going through the pathing, showing things that I like from it, basically. I do have a window open for chat, so I can check that. If anybody would like to make a comment, anything like that, that's fine. I will respond as best I can, basically. Alright. So, if you haven't played Dark Souls before, this area is kind of a trap. So you see up there, towards the center of the screen, that's the boss. He's waiting for you to walk in. Now, obviously you're not supposed to fight him at this stage, because all you have is a broken straight sword. So you go through that door. Hit this fire. You come down this hallway with a skeletal archer, avoid getting shot, and pick up your shield. Then you get your sword. And we'll be picking up a better sword when we get to the Undead Burg, actually a couple of them. While the scimitar is pretty good, it's not, not the best early game, I guess would be the way to put it. Like, there are quite a few better ones that we can get super easy. This is a trap. Thought I was far enough away. That's okay. Things happen.
Oh, you.
We're gonna talk to this guy.
I'm done for. I'll die soon.
If anyone was curious why we did skip the opening cinematic and character creator, simply...
But perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying...
Yes, this is the restart to answer that question that just popped up. The algorithm on Twitch was basically copywriting the first 3 minutes of the video because of the music in the opening screen. So we're testing this over again. Like I said, if this re-record goes well, then we'll delete that old one off and have this as the first official episode of the series, I guess. I'm happy with how this turns out. Oh, yeah, that is just using the microphone that is in the PS5 controller for audio. Apparently, headsets are a thing of the past when you're recording on a PS5. got a visitor here. My nephew walked into the room to see what I was doing. After this guy, we'll be taking on the boss of the area, which is going to be fairly simple, because a lot of these early game bosses aren't tough, and, you know, once you know their attack pattern and weaknesses, they go down super easy. Like, this guy gives you a big advantage right out the gate. With that drop attack, you take out literally a third of his health, stunned for a second. You can just hack away at him. Obviously, like most Dark Souls bosses, you want to stick to the rear end. And Asylum Demon down. Not that hard. Pretty basic stuff. Go this way. Make our way to the hub Firelink Shrine. This is probably my favorite, maybe second favorite cinematic of this game.
One day an undead shall be
Just because I love the giant crow.
to leave the undead asylum
Hey, doggy.
in pilgrimage
My dog decided to come visit us.
to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
And here we have Firelink Shrine. The one really cool thing that sets... To answer the question that just came in, favorite boss and area? Ooh. That's tough. Most people would probably give you the answer of Ornstein and Smaug in Anor Londo as the answer to both of those. Me, on the other hand, I rate bosses a little bit differently. I would have to say, in terms of overall look, my favorite boss has got to be Sif. Just simply because I'm a big fan of dogs and wolves, and one with a sword is automatically a top tier thing to me. We are upgrading our strength because there is a sword that we are going to pick up that requires 14 strength and 14 dex. It will also start the bleed effect on people as well, so that's kind of nice. This area, pretty simple. You got some humanity over there. Humanity you can use to obviously restore your humanity, because right now we're looking like beef jerky. And you can also use them to kindle bonfires so you get more Estus flasks back. Until you beat a boss by the name of Pinwheel. You can only kindle once, which would give you the 10. Once you beat Pinwheel, I think you can do it 2 more times past that for a total of 20 Estus flasks. So they are fairly forgiving with that. Let's see, here we go. First things first. You don't really want to go this way, because, let's just say the skellies aren't very nice. Yes, there's some loot down there, but this is an area we'll come to later when we've got a blessed weapon, because the skellies will reform unless you kill them with a blessed weapon or take out their necromancer. And they are brutal. There's our friend the giant crow. But we're going to pick up a soul item, I believe is what this is. Yep. I don't have a list of notes for anything here. I'm basically just working everything off of memory, which can be a two-sided sword. This guy's not super important. If I'm not mistaken, you should be able to, at some point, get...
Hello, yeah, no. Oh, I have so good that.
Yeah, you can get miracles off of him.
Very.
Just say yes. I'm not in a covenant yet. I won't be using miracles. I'm just doing this to show kind of thing.
Now only.
But yeah, you can get that kind of stuff off of him.
Come again.
Alrighty. This guy's kind of a downer.
Well, let me get, but there's no.
He gives you.
Well, there are actually.
Yeah, this small hint that there's actually 2 bells of awakening that need to be rung.
The other is far, far below. Ring them both.
And you gotta ring them both. And that's how you open Sen's fortress later on in the game. And that's the only hint this game gives you for that. After that, you kind of got to figure it all out by yourself. There is not a lot of hand-holding. There you go. And you're moving now too. Good. Alrighty. Got this. I'll make this jump for an item that hopefully we won't really need. It just makes it so you don't lose your souls upon death. Yeah, souls, I guess the best way to explain it, ooh, hey, free fire bombs, cool, is that Miyazaki, the game director, likes basically just to create a challenge and see if people can overcome it with as little hints as possible. Which, I mean, that fits my kind of... Oh, whew. Thought we were gonna die. That was a close one. Yeah, that fits my personality pretty well. Really? Eh, whatever. He's not a big deal. And then this thing can be frustrating because rats are able to stun you super easily and they build up poison. Alright. Those things aren't challenging, clearly, but God, they've got a nasty habit of ganging up on you. Okay, yeah, there's nothing that way. Just wanted to double check. Now, obviously the collector and most people will tell you to pick up this item right here. Don't bother. For the simple reason, it's legitimate trash. See? Huh. Gotta love the physics engine in this game. Now, this stream and recording, I'm going to tell you now, if you're a Souls purist, it's probably going to frustrate you. Just for the simple reason that I don't have an issue calling in help if there's a challenge that I need an assistance with. And, you know, that's a mechanic of the game, so I don't see the point in shunning it. It's like people that play Elden Ring that don't use the Ash summons. I'm like, why? FromSoft does not give you a lot of lifelines. Why not use them? Here we are going to get a slightly better shield. Because while the leather shield is decent, I prefer to run something that blocks as much physical damage as possible. And it's only slightly heavier. Okay. So we're not going to rest yet. We're actually going to go see this merchant down here. And after we get a bow and arrow, we're going to kill him. for his sword. What do we got here? A Titanite shard. Nice. Upgrade materials for basic weapons are actually surprisingly easy to come by most of the time. Not typically that easy. Usually I don't start to see Titanite shards until... I don't know what that sound was. I'm just trying to remember what this... Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember this now. So, before we go to the merchant, we're basically just going to do some soul farming. Because the bow cost 1,000 souls, and yeah, I know I have some soul items in my pocket to use. But, I'm hoping to be able to buy everything in one, so I don't have to reset the world again and go back to him. Now, the reason we're going to use a bow instead of the crossbow is because it's a whole lot easier to just aim the bow. As far as builds go, right now, just kind of winging it. For the simple reason that in the early game, while investing your points in your stats is important for the outcome, how can I explain? You can basically just throw away a bunch of points in the early game just because of how cheap they are to get, and they really won't have a huge impact. Now, this is the guy that I was talking about. Huh. Where'd you come from, buddy? More free souls. Cool. Always go over one too far with that.
Well, now, you seem to think I tried.
Okay, so there are a couple important things to buy off this guy. The repair box we will be getting from Andre later, so that we can repair our equipment at a bonfire without having to visit a blacksmith. The important things to pick up here, as I said, are the bow. Oops. The residence key. And some arrows. Standard arrows work just fine. For what we will be doing... God, I went too far. I recommend having a minimum of 50. I think it's only going to take 20 or so to get a weapon we will be going to pick up. But it's always nice to have spares. I'm going to just equip this now so I don't forget to later. And now we're going to assault this guy.
Julia! Julia! Why me, little Julia?
So, as you see, he gives us humanity, dried finger, orange guidance, soapstone, so we can leave messages, things like that, and we pick up the Uchi Katana. Which, honestly, until a buddy of mine pointed it out, like the last time I played this game, I didn't even realize was in the game. I thought the Iato was the only katana-like option. My nephew's playing his own game in the next room, and he decided to update me on where he's going next in it. He's a good kid most of the time. Alright, so what we're going to do now is this bonfire is somewhat important. It is the only bonfire between here and the next boss, which I'm going to show you a trick to make that real easy to deal with. Let's see, how much further? Okay, it's only like 200 more souls to the next level up, and then we'll be able to use the Uchi Katana. Which, I mean, its stats aren't amazingly higher than our current weapon, but the auxiliary bleed effect makes it worth it. Boy, got some hops. Ow. Douche. Ah. I hate leading stragglers. Alright. But yeah, as you see right now, we're not able to use it unless we use both hands, but that's about to change. Now, normally I sink points into Vitality, just because larger health, you're able to take some hits. Endurance is also a good one, because if you favor blocking with a shield like I do over dodge rolling, your endurance will help you absorb more damage. Are you gonna come after me, buddy? Yep, he is. Alright, so now we run across this, because we got the guys throwing fire bombs at us. The battle axe is actually a pretty good weapon. I've used it before on my first run through this game. It carried me most of the way through the game until I got the Gravelord sword, joining their covenant. And that's the sword I used to finish the game with. I don't think we'll be using that, but, you know, things may change here and there. Some more free fire bombs. Ouch. That was unintentional. Oh well. So a black firebomb is just a stronger version of a regular firebomb, to answer that question. Like, a regular firebomb will do so much damage, but a black one will do more. And here, using that residence key, this is the reason we picked it up, gives us the key to defeating the next boss. Gold pine resin. because the next boss is super weak to lightning damage. Oh, I hate how slow these guys move. But I don't want to draw more than one shield guy in on me at a time because, well, I'd say from past experience, it's not a lot of fun. Come on, do something. And I'd prefer if that something was to die. No, you can't drink. That's my superpower. Yeah, that wasn't smart. Alright, and up here is a trap. Fairly simple to set off and avoid. No. The disrespect he showed just trying to take a drink right in front of me. Alright. So, this next area is going to be the boss arena, but kind of like the Asylum Demon, he's not going to just magically appear because we walked into the arena. Actually, he's hiding just out of sight on top of that tower over there. But we can do a few things to make life a little easier for us. The first being, come up here and take out these crossbowmen. Obviously, because it's a boss, we want to be at full health, just in case. Switch over to our gold pine resin. And once we get a good portion of the way over, he jumps down. And just like the Asylum Demon, we can do a drop attack on this big idiot. For a large chunk of health. Yes, he does hurt a bit. Oh, wow, was not expecting that. Careless mistakes. They cost you. Oh well. Not like it's that hard to get back there. What did he drop? Light crossbow. Don't matter. But now we can streamline the process a little bit of getting back there, because don't have to take on those guys throwing fire bombs at us again. Actually, kind of. Yeah, you can't sell your loot in this one. Unlike in 3, where you can just sell stuff you don't want to the Shrine Handmaiden, there kind of is a sell mechanic in the way that once you ring the bells of awakening and wake up, I want to say it's Kingseeker Framped. You can feed stuff to him and get some souls that way for it. That is the closest thing to a cell mechanic this game has. Now, because we already sprung this trap up here, it's not going to reset. Oh, getting a phone call. I will call them back. After we beat this boss, unlock a shortcut. That's probably where we're going to call it for the day. I don't remember if he's just going to be straight up in the arena. Because I've never actually died to that guy before. Okay, you gotta trigger his trap again. That's all I needed to know. Which is actually uncharacteristically kind of Dark Souls. Just because the Taurus Demon, for those of you that don't know, if you just hide up here, he will actually jump up here when you've got him down there. When I found that out, there's no honor in saying it, I about shit myself. Because that was a terrifying moment. Alright, you big idiot, let's try this again. You want to be quick so he doesn't jump back up. And now typically if you stay in super close, a vast majority of the time his attacks are going to whiff. Yeah, that was my mistake, was backing up the last time. Like, legitimately. Counterintuitively, most bosses you actually want to stay in close to, which is really bizarre because your instinct tells you to back up, get out of range. But yeah, strangely enough. Oh, it's a cute little emoji. So here we've got Solaire, most people's favorite character in the entire series. And he is going to give us the White Sign Soapstone. Jesus, if I could speak. Which will allow us to drop summon signs for bosses, and now, like if we're in our human form, we can see summon signs of other players. Alright, so this area is the biggest... I was going to say the biggest trap in the game, but I've realized that's not really the case, just because of how Dark Souls is. The point is, you want to sprint, and you're probably going to get roasted. because that thing right there is not very nice. But once you get to the right side there, we're good. And then we kick this ladder. Climb on down. We're at just over 40 minutes. Okay, cool. And then this is the bonfire we rested at right before the Taurus demon. Spend some points. The next sword we will be picking up has a strength requirement of 16, so we're going to set that. And while it is a good weapon, because it is a boss caliber-like weapon, it's probably not going to be something we carry with us through the game. Just because it swings like a greatsword and I prefer faster attack speeds. Alrighty. So another fun fact real quick about Dark Souls 1. If you've played 3, then you know about the luck stat. And in Elden Ring, it's your arcane stat that boosts your item discovery. Well, how it actually works in Dark Souls 1 is your item discovery is based on your humanity number in the upper left corner. So if you're human, and let's say you have 30 humanity, you're going to have a lot easier time picking up items and finding loot from enemies than you will, obviously, if you're not human and only have a level 1 in that. Yeah, I know, I said I'd unlock the shortcut and then call it good. We'll actually pick up the boss weapon that I was talking about. Again, boss weapon's kind of a misnomer. Tail weapon, we'll call it. This is probably the worst enemy placement in all of Souls. Because unless you have a weapon that does a stab, there's a solid chance your sword will be bouncing off the wall to the right when you swing. And in that instance, it can cause you to fall off that ledge. So, now we will be picking up this weapon. And this part is kind of tedious. Oh, you gotta get your aim right. Just off just a little bit. And as long as you hold in one place, you can reliably hit the tail. And eventually, it will fall off. Yeah, like I said, super tedious. Now, there are most bosses, actually I think all of them that have a tail, you can, in the fight, cut the tail off, and it gives you a special weapon, like the Seath the Scaleless boss fight that is quite a ways down the road. If you cut off his central tail, is how you get the Moonlight Greatsword that has featured in most FromSoft games going back to their King's Field days. Pretty much the only FromSoft games that sword hasn't appeared in are Sekiro and the Armored Core series. So, to answer the question I just got about Armored Core, FromSoft makes a basically Gundam-style game, I guess is the best way to explain it, where you're piloting this giant mech. Armored Core 6 is actually just around the corner. And they do have a trailer for it out. It looks surprisingly decent. I'm not a huge fan of most, like, what I view as anime-style games. Like I said, the kind of Gundam style. Which I know is a major contradiction to anybody that knows me, because obviously I play Pokemon, big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I like the Dragon Ball Z fighting games. But yeah, it's big mech battler series basically is Armored Core. I personally have never played them. Granted, that's just what I've gathered from the trailers and the very small bit I've read about it. Come on, tail, break. Hopefully only be a few more. Now, if you stand in the right spot and do this, you can hit the tail when the dragon jumps down. There we go. I just always thought that method was a little bit finicky because it's a little less... It's a little... While it is faster, it is a little less guaranteed of shots, I guess would be the way to explain it. So now to show off the sword we just picked up, like as you can see, our current weapon, the Uchigatana, does a basic 90 physical damage, and because of our stats, scales with a plus 14, so it does a 104 damage. This weapon does not have any scaling, but it starts off with a base 200 damage. Oh, and it's actually a straight sword. So it swings like a basic sword. The only hiccup is to get upgrade material for a weapon like this. I think it's Demon Titanite you need. Ooh, that was close. Felt the heat off that one. So basically the trick to getting past this thing is you want to make it angry, and eventually it'll do this. And you just run, Yes, you might get flames up your ass, but you make it to this bonfire, and real quick, all we did by going this way... Oh! It is a good thing I lit that bonfire. Normally, he does not attack you in here. He usually goes back up to his perch. Oh, are you kidding? Oh, man. That's frustrating. Anyway, you know the trick to getting there now. We're gonna wrap this one up here. I forget you have to rest at a site for it to actually lock in as your respawn point. Oh, that's annoying. Oh well. It's not that hard to get back to it. It's literally up this ladder right there and make him drop back down again. Not a big problem. If you go the other way, which is the under the bridge way, you deal with a small swarm of poison rats that almost always seem to poison me. Come on, dude, get angry. We're gonna do this one more time, collect those souls we dropped, and that's where we're calling it. Because this guy has done frustrated me. Ooh! Moron flame-breathed in front. Alright. That's what I'm talking about, yeah. We will recover. Haha. I know it looks like I should be on fire because of the way it comes through the scenery. And that moment I was. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. Normally he just goes back up to his perch and then flies away. When he flies away is when you can pick up this soul item and the claymore if you're interested in that weapon. But we've opened up this way. We're gonna rest. Gain another level. Put it into health for now. And that's where we'll wrap it up. Alright. Thanks for anybody watching. And anybody who watches the video on demand form that I will be uploading to YouTube. Have a good one.